Key Nation, what's going on, man? It's your boy Emmanuel Key, and today you see it in the title. We're going to be talking about how to acoustically treat your small room, okay? Your home studio. We don't live in mansions, bro. We don't have $600 million studios, so this is relatable, I would like to say. Today, man, I want to teach you guys how to acoustically treat your small room. I have exclusive advice from acoustic consultants from GIK Acoustics. I will put the link in the description if you guys want to cop any acoustic panels, you guys want to cop any distortion, not distortion, some diffusers, acoustic foam, anything like that. The link will be in the description. Again, my panels are not from GIK Acoustics, but they did give me this advice, and I thank you guys for that. I'm not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor your boy, you feel me, man? So let's go ahead and get to this computer. I want to show you guys what we got going on, man. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button, 'cause we a movement, boy. Let's get it. Alright, Key Nation, man. So we are here. As you can see, I got the document set up. Okay, I am not a professional acoustic consultant. Okay, this is coming exclusively from professional acoustic consultants. I hit up GIK Acoustics, and this is what they got to me, man. So I wanted to share this with you guys so that you guys can use this and apply it to your home studio and apply it to whatever you got going on whenever it comes down to sound treatment. Because what do I say every single time? Make sure your space is treated, man. So this is what I got for you guys. I also wrote in a few things here to kind of explain why they said to do what to do, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So it says, hi, Keen. Thanks for writing in. I'm sure we can help you with your studio, ergo what you guys see here. And I'll be plugging in some B-roll so that you guys can see what this is talking about specifically. And I'll cater it kind of personally to my experience as well, so that you guys can get a better understanding of what we're talking about. And you guys can then, again, like I said, apply it to what you guys got going on as well. The very first thing that it says here is the first thing I always do in a small room studio is to optimize. And we'll kind of paraphrase it, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to read this whole thing, so we'll paraphrase it. So basically what it says here is the first thing that I always do in small room studios is to optimize the room setup, right? And he recommends having a listening position that's facing one of the short walls, right? So in terms of what I have going on right now, this is not the short wall, okay? And we'll put in some B-rolls so that you guys can see, but this is not the short wall and how I have everything set up. I have it set up on long ways, and the reason why I have it set up long ways is because I don't have any other space to put my desk, okay? I tried it. I tried putting it on a short wall, tried putting it on this wall. It just doesn't work at all, okay? So I had to put it on the long wall because my bed is right here, so I don't have no other choice. But ideally, you would want to have as much distance, which is why I put the bullet point right here so that you guys can understand the reason why you want to put your desk on a short wall. And that's to minimize the distance that you have between, not minimize, maximize the distance that you have between the rear reflective wall and your head. So that's the rear reflective wall that you have right there, right? You want to maximize that because you want to allow the frequencies that's coming out of your monitors to be absorbed with the early reflection points. And we're going to get into that a little bit, later. But you want to have as much distance as you can between the rear reflective wall and your head, right? Which is the reason why you want to have it set up on the short wall. So to go into more of the ergonomics, it says put the desk or console in front in a good ergonomic position, put the speakers on stands in an equilateral triangle with your head as close to the front wall as you can get them. So I wasn't able to do any of that, right? You have to make sure that whatever room you have, you're able to do it to the best of your ability and try to make things work with what you can make them work with, right? So I have my speakers right here. As you guys can clearly see, I got my speakers right here, and they're not on their own separate stands because I don't have any space to do that. So I put them on isolation stands on my desk. Now, the reason why I put them on isolation stands is because of the frequencies. We want to try to maintain and tame the frequencies as best as possible. And the way to do that is to put them on these isolation stands that I have right here so that when the frequencies come out, that they're coming out and they don't interfere with the desk, because now the frequencies can get altered and everything like that. With the desk, you get rumble, you get all different types of stuff, and we want to minimize that as much as possible. So that is why the speakers are on these isolation panels, okay? Also, as far as the equilateral triangle with your head, you want to make sure, and this is why I have the bullet point right here, is that the high frequencies are going to they're gonna be what you hear in the forefront. Right now, low frequencies travel, okay, but when you hear a song, or whenever you hear something right in front of your face, our ears are a lot more susceptible to higher frequencies. We're gonna hear that more. It's going to be more in front of your face. They're going to be the more direct frequency that you're going to hear. And so, because that's the more direct frequency you want to hear, you want to make sure that they're directly in line with your speakers. Now, excuse me, not your speakers, your ears. You know, whenever you're setting up your space, make sure that you do that as well. Keep in mind, he says, for a small room on a limited budget. I did not have a gang of money to spend on acoustic treatment, okay? I didn't have a gang of money to spend, but like I said, you make do with what you got, right? So I had about at the time, I had about $600 to $700 to spend for acoustic treatment, right? So they did what they can do for me. For a small room on a limited budget, you got to focus on treating the early reflection points, which is what I was alluding to before. You want to make sure that you treat those early reflection points. That is very, very important. Meaning the positioning of your speakers. You want to make sure that what the frequencies that are coming out of your speakers are going to be absorbed. And the best way to absorb these frequencies is with having acoustic absorption panels. It's made out of rock wool, and that's just an absorption material that, you know, absorbs frequencies essentially, right? And so the fact that I'm in a small room means that I have a lot of frequencies that are going to be bouncing off of each other, because the room isn't big. So I'm going to have a lot of interferences. I'm going to have a lot of distractions, and that actually comes from a buildup of in the lower range, right? The lower frequency. So I'm going to have a lot of distractions within my lower frequency. That's typically the problem that you're going to have whenever you're dealing with a smaller room, right? So they actually recommended that I have bass trapping for my early reflection points. Now, I don't have that, okay? I got regular acoustic absorption panels. However, they go 3 inches thick. You don't want to have, which is the reason why I said in my last video, as far as acoustic paneling is concerned, you don't want to have 1 inch, 2-inch thickness, okay? You don't want to have that, because the sound is not going to absorb accurately. All right, you want to have, you ideally 2 to 6 inches. I put 3 to 4 on here. As you can clearly see, I put, like I said, I put little tidbits in here. I put 3 to 4, but you want to make sure that that thickness absorbs. The thicker that panel is, the more it's going to absorb those lower frequencies, which is the reason why they recommended what they recommended. However, like I said, my budget wasn't allowing that, right? So I got some absorption panels in the back, and that's what's treating my early reflection points, I guess you can say, because even though I have it lined up on this horizontal wall, that's what it's treating, right? So that's what that is. Now, as you can clearly see, I kind of talked over it a little bit, but it says reflection points are essential to clean up stereo imaging, enhance the depth, the details of soundstage for listening, clarity and focus for recordings and trackings, meaning it's just a cleaner sound, okay? The reflection points are going to treat all of what it just said, so that you can have a cleaner sound, a more accurate representation of your frequency response coming from your monitor. So that's basically what that means, right? So there's that. I'm paraphrasing, right? And I know I can talk a lot, so I'm trying to make sure I get everything and I handle everything and cover everything so that you guys can understand what's going on. It says reflections reaching your ears very shortly after direct sound can generally create an inaccurate listening environment, which is what I just said. Points are located along your side walls, ceiling, and easiest to locate is the mirror trick. I'll just explain it to y'all, right? So as you guys can see, these are my monitors, right? These are my monitors, and in order to find your early reflection points, you have to get a mirror and go opposite of the direction of your monitor and put the mirror up. When you see the speaker within that mirror, that's your first reflection point, right? That's your early reflection point. That is exactly what's going to be affected when your speaker goes there, okay? So you want to make sure whatever is there, you want to absorb that fast, Okay, you want to absorb that fast, and the reason why I say that is because that's what it's directly going to. So you want to do that for both of the speaker monitors, right? You want to get a mirror, put that up, put it on the left hand side, get another mirror, not another mirror, the same mirror, and do the exact same thing for the right hand side. And that's where you would want to put your absorption panel so that it can absorb those frequencies. Flexion panel is capable of participating in the critical 70 to 90 hertz range, and that is so important. I don't believe my panels I don't believe my panels participate within that low of a frequency. I think they go maybe 100 to 300. I actually have a very accurate representation of the middle to high range frequencies, which is not impressive because that's a much more easier frequency range to tame. But I do have an accurate representation of that. As we go down, we go to bass builds up and boundaries such as the wall, floor, ceiling, corners, everything like that. Listening test. So basically what the listening test is, and like I said, we're paraphrasing here. Basically what the listening test is, it's going to do a sweep of frequencies, right? It's going to go from the range of 30 hertz to 40 hertz to 50 all the way up to 10,000 and 20K, you know? So the frequency range is going to do a whole sweep of that frequency spectrum, and it's going to show you what you hear and what's more of a nagging frequency, I guess you can say, in your ears. That's going to show that that is a frequency range that you need to treat, right? So if it sweeps through 40, now I think the human ear can't hear past, correct me if I'm wrong, the human ear is not going to be able to pick up a frequency range of 20 to like 30 to 40 hertz or something within that range, right? You can't even physically hear it. But once it gets to the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 range, you'll start to hear that woo, woo, like that big, you know, that bass. You want to be able to treat that, right? So that's what the listening test is. When you really hear that, that's what you need to treat. Bye-bye. Okay, so that is pretty much what that is, man. I know that was a lot of information. I was trying my best to make sure I got what I can got. Make sure I got what I can got. Make sure I got everything that I could so that you guys can understand at least a basic understanding of how to treat your room and what to do, man. Like I said, this is not ideal for what I got going on. You know, once we start getting more subscribers in and we start, you know, we're doing well right now as far as the business. I ain't gonna lie, we're doing pretty okay. You feel me? But as I grow and as you guys grow with me, man, you guys will start to see you know, better setups. You know, we're gonna start improving within the studio and everything like that. But you gotta start from somewhere, right? And this is I don't even want to say this at the beginning because if I showed y'all the beginning, my goodness. But we're improving, man. We're definitely improving. So this is exactly what it is. Thank you guys so much. If you guys got any questions, again, please comment down below, and I'll be sure to try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I also have GIK Acoustics in the description so that you guys can purchase their absorption panels if you'd like, diffusing, whatever you want to do. Purchase that. They are a great company. And I definitely go with them if you're trying to stick to a budget, but still have an accurate listening environment, man. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate y'all. As I said before, let me know what you guys want to see. Okay, I'll see y'all in the next one. Gang.